for today's podcast. And we're going to begin with San Francisco taking on Cincinnati. And that'll be a 12:35 Eastern first pitch at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. The Reds open the betting as the $1.35 favorite. Total at 8.5. And since those markets opened this one up, pretty good two-way action on the total. No movement there as of yet. We did see a nickel move toward the Reds up to $1.40. So once again, Cincinnati opened $1.35 up to minus 140. Total open and remains at 8.5. 61% are leaning Cincinnati, 65% shaded toward the under. Right now, San Francisco is plus 125 on the money line. Right now, Cincinnati is plus 140 on the run line. We have Drew Pomeranz for the Giants, Anthony DeSclafani for Cincinnati. Pomeranz is 1-3 with a 4.08 ERA for the Giants. DeSclafani is 1-1 with a 3.48 ERA for Cincinnati. Now the Reds ranked second in runs allowed in Major League Baseball. Meanwhile, San Francisco has been winners in just 8 out of 18 away from home. And when it comes to the scoring, Cincinnati is 10-6 to the under on their home field. Give me Cincinnati minus 140 and the under 8.5. Next game, White Sox, Indians, 6-10 Cleveland. The Indians opened minus 230, total 8.5. 10-cent move toward Cleveland up to 240. Once again, the Indians opened 230 up to minus 240. Totals 8.5. 68% of the consensus are leaning toward Cleveland. 74% shaded toward the over. Right now, the White Sox are plus 215 on the money line. Cleveland minus $1.10 on the run line. Nova for the White Sox. Bauer for the Indians. Nova 0-3, 8.33 ERA for the White Sox. Bauer 4-1, 2.45 ERA for the Indians. And speaking of Cleveland, they are striking out their opponents 11.07 times per game at home, really mowing them down at Progressive Field. The White Sox on the other side, well, their batters are 27th in striking out at the plate, so really not making a whole lot of contact on the Chicago side of things. The White Sox are also 9-5 to the over away from home. Cleveland 8-6 to the over on their home field. Give me Cleveland minus 1.5 in the over 8.5 in that game. Next matchup, Mariners, Yankees. 6:35 Eastern first pitch at Yankee Stadium. New York opened $1.70, total 9.5. Now, we didn't see a whole lot of movement on the total, but we did see a very big move on the money line. 25-cent fade of the Yankees on the money line, down to minus 145. So once again, New York opened $1.70, down to minus 145. Totals 9.5. 57% of the consensus is leaning toward New York. 56% of the consensus is shaded toward the under. Right now, Seattle's plus $1.30 on the money line. New York plus $1.30 on the run line. We have Hernandez for the Mariners. CC Sabathia for the Yankees. Now, Hernandez is 1-2 with a 4.31 ERA for Seattle. Meanwhile, for New York, CC is coming into this game with a 2.66 ERA for the Bronx Bombers. Now, if you like New York at home here, just keep in mind they're taking on a Seattle team who is 13-5 against the spread away from home. And of course, when I refer to the spread in Major League Baseball, I'm actually referring to the run line. So once again, Seattle 13-5 in their last 18 run line plays away from home. They're also third in offensive scoring. Now, the Yankees on the other side, they are 20th in hits at home, and they've failed to win in 3 out of their last 5 ball games. Now, total-wise, the Yankees are 8-3 to the over in their last 11. Give me the Mariners plus 1.5 in the over 9.5 in that game. Next matchup, Red Sox, Orioles. 7:05 Eastern first pitch in Baltimore. Boston's minus 185. No line on the total as of yet. Give me the Red Sox minus 185. Next game, Twins, Blue Jays, 7:07 Toronto. The Blue Jays opened the betting as the $1.05 favorite. Pretty much a pick'em contest when this one opened up with a total at 8.5. Now the Blue Jays did take a little money in the early going here. We saw a nickel move toward Toronto up to $1.10. So once again, the Blue Jays open minus 105 up to $1.10. Totals 8.5. 59% are leaning Twins, 66% shaded toward the under. Perez projected for the Twins, Stroman slated for the Blue Jays. Perez is a perfect 4-0 with a 3.41 ERA for Minnesota. Stroman is just 1-4 with a 2.20 ERA for Toronto. I'm going to lean toward Perez getting the W for Minnesota. I'm not leaning toward Minnesota. I'm leaning toward Perez getting the W. Give me Perez plus one. Let me try that again. Give me Perez plus 100 and the over 8.5 in that game there. Next matchup, Diamondbacks, Rays. 7:10 Eastern first pitch in Tampa Bay. The Rays open the betting as the massive $2.05 favorite with the total at 7.5. And since those markets open this one up, we're seeing a 10-cent fade of the Rays down to minus 195. Once again, Tampa Bay open 205 down to minus 195, total 7.5. We have Merrill Kelly for the D-backs, Blake Snell for the Rays. Merrill Kelly is 3-2 with a 3.60 ERA for Arizona. Blake Snell is 2-3 with a 4.31 ERA for Tampa Bay. Now, Arizona is 14-6 against the spread on the road this year. So once again, Arizona covering 14 out of their last 20 run line plays away from home. They're also first in Major League Baseball in hits on average per game. Tampa Bay, on the other side, is 23rd in home scoring. When it comes to the total, Arizona's 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Give me the Diamondbacks plus 1.5 in the over 7.5 runs in that matchup there. Next game, Nationals, Brewers, 7:40 Milwaukee. Washington opened the betting as the $1.25 favorite with the total at 8 runs. We are seeing movement both on the money line and the total. We saw a nickel fade of Washington on the money line. We saw movement downward on the total. We're now looking at minus 120 and 7.5. So once again, the Nats open $1.25 down to minus 120. Total open 8 down to 7.5. 53% are leaning Washington, 66% shaded toward the over. Right now, Milwaukee's plus 105 on the money line. Washington plus $1.50 on the run line. We have Scherzer for the Nats, Chacin for the Brewers. Scherzer's just 1-4 with a 4.08 ERA, but Chacin is 3-3 with a 5.24 ERA. Now, Washington is 6th in road scoring. They're also first in striking batters out on the road. Meanwhile, Milwaukee is 22nd in runs allowed on their home field. I'm going to lean toward the road favorite in this one. Give me Washington minus 120 and the over 7.5 in that game there. Next matchup, Phillies, Cardinals. 8:05 Eastern first pitch in St. Louis, New Busch Stadium. St. Louis is minus 130, totals 8.5, 53% on St. Louis, 63% toward the over. Phillies plus $1.20, St. Louis plus 150, laying the run and a half. Velasquez for the Phils, Michaelis for the Cards. Velasquez 1-1, 2.73 ERA. Michaelis 3-2, 4.73 ERA. St. Louis third in hits, fourth in runs scored at home. Philly last in road hits allowed, 12-5 to the under in their last 17. I like St. Louis minus 130, under 8.5. Next game, Marlins Cubs, 8:05 Eastern first pitch at Wrigley Field. Chicago opened 235 up to minus 260, no line on the total. Give me Chicago minus 1.5. Next game, Royals, Astros, 8:10 Eastern first pitch in Houston. The Astros opened the betting as the $2.45 favorite with the total at 8. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing heavy money on Houston, a 35-cent move toward the Astros up to minus 280. So once again, Houston opened 245 up to minus 280, totals at 8. 68% are leaning Houston, 69% shaded toward the over. Right now, the Royals are plus 255 on the money line. Houston minus 130, laying the run and a half. Jake Junis for Kansas City, Garrett Cole for Houston. Junis is 3-2 with a 5.12 ERA. Cole's 2-4 with a 3.95 ERA. Houston's 5-3 in their last 8, 10-3 at home. Kansas City just 4-12 away from home, second to last in striking batters out. Total-wise, Houston 80% of the over in their last 5. Give me the Astros -1.5 in the over 8 runs in that matchup there. Next game, Mets, Padres. 10:10 Eastern first pitch in San Diego. The Mets open the betting as the $1.30 favorite with the total at 7. We're seeing movement downward on both the money line and the total. That's right, the total moved downward, down to 6.5. So once again, New York opened at $1.30, down to -120. Total open at 7 flat, down to 6.5. Padres are +105 on the money line. Mets +155, laying the 1.5 on the road. We have Jake DeGrom for the Mets, Paddock for the Pods. DeGrom's just 2-3 with a 3.82 ERA. Paddock is 2-1 with a 1.91 ERA. I'm going to lean toward the home dog in the spot here. I think this is a great spot for Padres backers, really max value on this one. Give me San Diego +105 and the under 6.5 in that game there. All right, next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Braves-Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern first pitch in Los Angeles. The Dodgers open the betting as the $1.65 favorite, total at 7.5. Not a whole lot of movement on the total, but we did see a 25-cent fade of Los Angeles on the money line, down to -140. Once again, Los Angeles open 165, down to -140, total 7.5. 60% are on the Dodgers. Atlanta's +125 on the money line. Dodgers +140 on the run line. We have Gausman for the Braves, Buehler for the Dodgers. Gausman's 1-2 with a 4.83 ERA. Buehler's 3-0 with a 5.22 ERA. Atlanta's 4-1 in their last 5, 6-2 in their last 8. They rank 3rd in hits on average and 3rd in hits allowed. The Dodgers on the other side, 22nd in striking batters out. They're also, they covered just 7 out of their last 16 run line plays at home. When it comes to the scoring, Atlanta's 9-5 to the over away from home. Give me Atlanta +1.5 and the over 7.5 in that matchup there.